What is going on? Joe Munoz, Juan Dominguez, JD, JC, I scream and shout, okay? Okay, all right, live in the 305, man. We're here in Miami to talk about start anomalies or start abnormals. 3 different types of start anomalies you can receive. Hot start, hung start, okay, or maybe a wet start, okay? Who names these starts, man? Who names this stuff, okay? A hot start means that we have a high rate of EGT increase. And if you like to take notes, let me give you a little secret. Let me give you a little tidbit, a little tip here, okay? Most sims, in fact, by the way, this tip I'm going to give you also works in the aircraft as well at sea level. If you see EGT outpacing N2 on the start, it's probably going to be a hot start. So let me say that again, right? And I'm going to give you an example of the 737 NG here, even the classic, same number, 25% N2. We raise the engine start lever to 25 to the idle detent. This is at 25%. And when we do that, all right, you're going to begin to see obviously fuel flow increase, right? We'll see N1 rotation, EGT, light off, right? So EGT starts coming up, and I'm typically comparing N2 and EGT. So if my N2 value is at 32.3 and my EGT is floating around 210, right? 32, the first 2 digits, 32, are greater than the first 2 digits of the EGT, which we said is 210, so 21. So if N2 32 is greater than EGT 21, good start. If you start to see the EGT outpace the N2, the roles have reversed now, and you're likely going to have a hot start. Now, the challenge with a hot start on type rides, by the way, typically you're going to be given a hot start. You got to get some type of start anomaly. That's part of the Airman Certification Standards, the ACS and FAA lingo, right? So you got to have some kind of start anomaly. It's typically a hot start because a hot start is the one that would require a borescope inspection. If you don't know what that is, it's a little camera that gets fed into the engine, make sure nothing melted. You didn't fry the engine that the company can later turn around and use your salary to pay for that inspection, right? So a hot start typically runs the highest risk of damage to the engine. That being said, 320 brothers and sisters, we got a little FADEC protection that'll actually stop us from over temping it as long as we have that FADEC auto protection in place, right? But the bottom line is typically on types, checking events, it's a hot start. Now slide over now to the second one we talked about, which is a hung start. And this is where the engine, as it sounds, hangs. It literally hangs. So we don't have an N2 spool at a normal rate of about 1% per second. So if you see your N2 spooling less than 1% per second, you're looking at a hung start. And then finally, we have the wet start, also known as no light off or no EGT. Okay, call it what you want, but basically we don't have any ignition inside the engine, right? So with a no EGT, a wet start, and no light off, the way you would know very simply is because, well, there's no EGT increase. So the one that runs the most risk in terms of having a start anomaly and you needing to act quickly, particularly if you don't have FADEC protection, like in the case of a 7.3, it's going to be the hot start. Then you have the hung start. N2 is hanging, okay? It's not rotating at a rate that's equal to at least 1% per second. And then also, of course, you have the wet start. I hope that makes sense. I go into deeper briefing on this in each of our video programs, and specifically, what do you do next? So 7.3 drivers out there, if you have a hot start, you would first complete the memory item, engine start lever cutoff for the aborted engine start. Aborted engine start memory item is one item, engine start lever cutoff. Then we'd call for the appropriate checklist in the QRH. In the case of a A320, we would run the ECAM action. Once the ECAM action is complete, then we would go on a separate set of steps. All that is dissected and laid out for you in detail inside of our video programs. May 29th, 6 p.m., all A320 members are invited to a live flight control laws training webinar. I'm going to show and share with you how to answer some of the questions that come on your orals that could be not necessarily difficult, but they really challenge your thought process as to how do I answer that. So one of them is, what is a flight control law? What is a law? Okay, so not only what is a law, how many do we have? How do we transition through them? What are the protections? What are all the alpha protections? What is G-load? What is a side-stick relationship, G-load demand versus direct versus roll rate? All these different things I'm going to be covering in that live webinar, May 29th, 6 p.m. It'll probably run a little over an hour. It'll be recorded and then placed inside of your accounts for you all to go back and view at your leisure on your time whenever you want. All right, so if you want to enroll in that, just become an A320 member or onestepprep.com/laws. You can grab it there as well. Also, May 50 is the coupon code. May 50. That means 50% off the month of May. We only have a few days left of that. Once that goes away, it's gone. I don't know that we'll ever bring it back. We brought it back. We brought it out on this particular month because of what's happening, obviously, with the COVID situation, and many, of course, are hurting in more ways than one. So we rolled it out for that reason, but take advantage. It's just here for a few more days. May 50 is a coupon code. Last thing before we wrap up this video, onestepprep.com/playbook. You can grab this playbook. It's a 60-page easy read. We have the ebook, the hard copy, the audio program, the video program. It's all there for you. This is a complete guide for you to go through type rating training, anything type, initial, recurrent, upgrade, you name it. It's all here, the exact recipe blueprint for you to have success. Hey, Joe Munoz, Juan Dominguez over at onestepprep.com. We hope to see you in the live webinar. We hope to see you enroll in one of our programs online. We can't wait to work with you and maybe see you right here in Miami.